Hello Stampers, welcome to the craft room. In today's video I'm going to show you how you can use your Stampin' Pierce mat to make these adorable paper sculpted clouds and create this great Christmas card. So let's get started. We're going to begin with making our clouds, and to do that you're going to need your scallop circle punch, and we're also going to need a scrap of Whisper White cardstock. And what we're going to do is come in part way with our scallop circle punch, and we're going to punch part of a circle, and then we're going to take that, and with the scallops going into the punch, so scallops first into the punch, you're going to create a cloud. And you can make these different sizes. What you're trying to do is line up the scallops so that it actually looks pretty even. So what I try to do is line up the metal part that's coming in to where a scallop would naturally end. And if you're a little bit off, that's okay, because no two clouds are alike. And then you're going to punch again. So we're going to make 3 different clouds. This next one I'm going to make a little bit bigger, so that's going to end up making a bigger cloud. So that's a big size. And then we're going to make a third one that's going to be smaller than either one of those. So about there to create this last cloud. So we're working on our Stampin' Pierce mat, which is a really great surface. It's kind of a hard foamy surface that has a little bit of give that makes paper sculpting really simple to do. And what you want to do is take your simply scored stylus, and we're going to be using the smaller tip right now. And in effect, you're going to be pressing down and almost drawing a line around the curves of your scallop. And you'll start to see that your cardstock starts to curl up just a little bit. So we're starting with the edges, and you can rub back and forth, or you can use a little circular motion if you want to do that, whatever's easiest and most comfortable for you. But you're pressing down and starting to, in effect, emboss the edge of your cloud. And we're going to start at the edges, and then what we're going to do once we're all the way around is we're going to switch to the larger ball end of your stylus, and in a circular motion, hopefully you can see that I'm moving my stylus in a circular motion, we're going to cover all of the cardstock. And what I like to do is start at the scallop and then move in toward the center of the cloud. And you can hopefully see that my cardstock is starting to curl. The harder you press and the more that you do this, the more curl that you're going to get on your cloud. So you're going to do that until you're satisfied, and then you're going to turn it over. And what's also nice, hopefully you can see, is you're also getting a little bit of texture on your cloud, so it makes it look really natural. So I went ahead in advance and did this to a medium-sized cloud and a small-sized cloud. So now we have all 3 of our paper sculpted clouds done. I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to bring in a piece of real red cardstock, and this piece is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I've just scored it down the center. And what I'm going to do is run it through the Big Shot with my Perfect Polka Dots embossing folder. Okay, so I've run that through the Big Shot, and now I'm just going to fold it along my score line and set my card base aside. Next, we're going to take a piece of 3.5 by 4.5 inch Tempting Turquoise cardstock. We're also going to want to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this piece is also 3.5 inches, and it's 2.5 inches. And we're actually going to be tearing this, so holding on to it, you just want to try to create an uneven tear, because this is going to form our snow on the bottom of our little landscape. So we're going to do that one more time. So again, just randomly trying to tear it. And what I like to use are these edges that are actually the torn edges showing, and you can start to play around and layer to see how you like your snow. That actually looks pretty good. So now we're just going to go ahead and use some Tombow Mono multi-glue to glue that down. So now that we have all of our snow down, we're going to make it glittery. So I'm just going to use some Dazzling Diamonds glitter along with my two-way glue pen, so let's open that up. I'm just going to drag some two-way glue here right along that torn edge of all three parts of those pieces of cardstock. And then we're just going to bring that over the tub in an attempt to contain it and go ahead and sprinkle that Dazzling Diamonds right on there and tap it off. So now that we've got our great glittery snow, we're just going to set that aside and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So first I'm going to bring in this little piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is 2 inches by 1 1/4 inches. And we're going to be using this Jolly Christmas stamp from the adorable No Peeking stamp set. This is just such a cute stamp set in the Holiday Mini. And I'm also going to bring in my Real Red marker, my Garden Green marker, and my basic black marker, because we're going to do some coloring on this stamp. So the word Christmas, we're just going to take our black marker on the brush end, and we're just going to carefully make sure we're only getting the word Christmas covered with our black marker. And next we're going to bring in the brush side of our Garden Green marker, and we're going to get the O, which is also a little wreath. And finally we're going to use our Real Red marker to ink up the J, the 2 L's, and the Y. So I'm just going to huff on this, and then I'm going to move toward the left-hand side here, since I want to leave a little bit of room to create a banner edge. So now we're just going to take our paper snips, and I'm going to come in to the center here and just snip in a little bit, and then I'm going to come from this corner to that snip that I just made, and then we're going to also do that here on the other side. The last thing we need to stamp is this adorable little penguin. Isn't he cute? And we're going to use the same colored markers. So I'm going to start with the black and the brush end, and I'm going to begin by coloring his body. I'm also going to get his eyeballs. His nose, though, we're going to do an orange. I'm actually bringing in Tangerine Tango just to get his adorable little nose. And then I'm going to use the Garden Green to get this portion of his hat. And then finally I'm going to use the Real Red to do the remainder of his hat and the little pom-pom on the top. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this onto a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, again giving it a little huff, and then stamping him down. And we're going to go ahead and take our paper snips and cut around him and cut him out. And now it's time to put our entire card together, so let's bring back in our card base and this piece. So first we're going to pop this piece up on dimensionals, and we're just going to go ahead and adhere that into the center of our card. And with your clouds, you've got some choices here. So with the largest cloud, I'm just going to use 1 dimensional, but you've got enough of a curve in your paper sculpted pieces that you can sculpt some of them a little bit higher. So I'm going to put this cloud down first. So that one I'm putting down a little bit lower, but I think this next one, I'm actually going to put 2 dimensionals on here. So we're going to layer or stack our dimensionals one on top of the other so that this cloud will have just a little bit extra height from all of the other clouds. Again, trying to create the different layers of dimension, and you can turn your clouds or have them going straight, whatever you want. I'm going to raise that one just a little bit and put that down. And finally, I'm just going to do 1 dimensional on my last little cloud here. So cute. Have I said that enough? That it's so cute? I just love this little penguin. He's so cute. And we're just going to add a couple dimensionals to our little guy here and adhere him down. And finally, we're going to attach our Jolly Christmas, and I'm also going to attach that using a couple dimensionals. I want that hanging just slightly off of the edge here. I'll actually bring it down just a little bit and adhere that down. So there you have it, a really fun way to use your Stampin' Pierce mat with your scallop circle punch to create some really great paper sculpted clouds for an adorable little no peeking penguin card. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon here in the craft room.